Okay, let's see. Nintendo's E3 presentation. Oh yeah, more news on Mario Odyssey. Sweet. Wait, what? How? No! Do you see it? Do you see it? No? Well, loyal Noggineers, you'd better strap your brains in because I'm gonna blow it up like fidget spinners in 2017. Haha, now that's going to date this video. Well, loyal Noggineers who would never ever dare watch another show of similar genre, welcome to Noggin, the only show on the internet where we use our minds to talk about canon things as if we put any research into them. It looks like Nintendo is trying to prove my older theories wrong again with these new games. It sure does suck being popular enough to get into arguments with major industry heads. Hashtag humble brag. Well, loyal Noggineers, I've made an incredible revelation. One that may be the greatest and deepest revelation I've ever made, with over 3 years of videos and septillions of views. And I only had to pull myself away from Pokemon for 5 minutes to figure it out. Mario gets new abilities all the time, right? Flying, gravity, penguin, that's pretty much everything, really. But what's the one catch? That's right, it's always temporary. It's always get an item, a power-up. I knew you could figure that out because you're so smart and loyal, and that's why you're subscribed to this channel. Good work. You deserve an achievement just for that. But enough about you. Let's talk about my revelation. So this time, Mario gets this new ability that, as we can see from the E3 footage, grants him one of the most unique and rather kinda twisted abilities he's had. He can possess enemies. And people too. Even inanimate objects. Maybe the bite of 83 didn't actually happen and it's just Mario haunting the competitor's pizza place. What, did you think I could go through an entire video without referencing FNAF? I mean Pokemon? He's like Rotom, right? I'm just the Pokemon guy, not the FNAF guy. Possession isn't something that just anyone with a special hat can do. It's a very limited power, typically reserved for beings of supernatural origin. So, what is going on? Well, I'll tell you. With what little information we have on the game so far, I used my skills of straight A research to come to the only possible conclusion that Mario is dead. Don't believe me? Well, then can you really say you're a loyal Noggineer? Well, I'll tell you anyway. So as we can see, when Mario first meets his new hat, he clearly is a ghost. The top ghost hat. Well, I have just the theory. Before Mario meets the hat, we have this scene. Bowser throws his hat at Mario while high above the city. Presumably, this knocks the hat right off of Mario, and Mario falls to his doom. After all, even Mario would never be able to survive a fall like this one. He does take fall damage, remember. But now he's falling from way above skyscrapers in New Donk City. A city based on New York City. The highest building in New York City happens to be the One World Trade Center, which stands at 1,776 feet. That's nearly 300 feet higher than you need to reach terminal velocity, the speed at which you can no longer speed up. And Mario is way higher than any of these buildings. And just for good measure, after knocking Mario off, Bowser then stomps his hat and throws it down to land on Mario's broken corpse. But of course they won't show that. It's like FNAF. Kinda gruesome, but they don't actually show it since it's a kid's game. And then, Mario wakes up. We can see that when he meets his new hat friend, his hat is completely torn up, destroyed. But Cappy, that's the ghost hat's name, fixes it by taking control of it, adding in those iconic eyes. But the real question is, how did Mario wind up in this creepy black and white world with a gigantic moon and ghosts all around if he just fell to his death? You may not be able to make that connection, but don't worry, because I did. You see, this area is sort of a Mushroom Kingdom afterlife. Moons are commonly associated with afterlife underworld areas. It dates all the way back to ancient Egypt. The god Thoth was the scribe of the underworld and also the moon. Cultures all over the world depict the moon as having great spiritual powers because of its connection to the underworld. It is also common of media to depict underworlds as black and white purgatories, especially ones that you just wake up in immediately after dying. Considering that these are the events that lead up to Mario gaining his ghost friend and the power to possess enemies and manipulate objects like taxis and blobs of lava, just like ghosts can in all sorts of media and mythology, the connection mission is perfectly clear, and that really should settle that. But I'm not the type to let you down, am I? Of course not. So go ahead and clean up your exploded mind from the floor and strap in again. Because, as Billy Mays would say, but wait, there's more! Mario Odyssey is also introducing another new concept, collecting moons instead of stars. And, loyal Noggineers, what did we just go over? The moon's connection to the underworld and spirits in general. Plus, are you seeing these areas Mario is exploring? A desert world perpetually celebrating the Mexican Day of the Dead, featuring Mayan ruins? Mayan mythology is heavily involved in the afterlife and death. Even inverted pyramids are said to be within the underworld, since they become parallel to the real-world pyramids. We also see lots of dinosaurs. And no, not Yoshi, but actual, realistic, ferocious dinosaurs. A lot of dinosaur bones too, and bones equals death, and most dinosaurs are dead. There is also the creepy looking woods, often associated with supernatural things. And you see a sphinx inside of them. A sphinx that talks to you and asks you riddles, just as sphinx do in mythology. In mythology, sphinx are very wise and have a deep connection to both the physical world and the underworld. And interestingly, the sphinx is the only character that we've seen so far that sends its regards to Mario and his hat. And that's not all either. I wouldn't let you down like that. We've gotten verbal confirmation that Cappy is invincible, a common trait of full-on ghosts. And also, as you may know, Nintendo keeps referring to this game as being a big continuation of what Mario 64 and Sunshine were. More open-ended 3D Mario games. So much so that they even made this image. But what did Sunshine and 64 have? Lives. And fall damage. Now in Odyssey, after Mario dies, he takes no fall damage, clearly because he's at least partially a ghost. And for the first time in Mario history, Mario ditches the lives formula. You may say that it's because lives are a dated gameplay mechanic that Mario just held onto for tradition's sake, but here at Noggin Theory, we don't take that, because it makes too much sense. The lives formula is gone because Mario cannot actually die anymore, since he's already dead. Instead, he can only be hurt and set back a little. Interestingly, when Mario dies, he does lose 10 coins, likely because after dying again, he meets the Mario universe's equivalent of Chiron, the Greek ferryman of Hades that if you can pay off well enough, will let you live again in some interpretations. This is actually another common trope in media, paying off death to let you live just a little longer. Though, death doesn't just let anyone do it, mainly people with enough reason to keep living, at least for a little while. People with enough determination. Yeah! Undertale reference! This trope is actually extremely common in video games. Remember arcades? You literally paid coins to bring your character back to life. Wow! How do you like that? 2 theories in 1 video. You should consider yourself lucky I didn't split this into 4 videos. It's a great day to be you right now, isn't it? We can also look at the very first thing that Mario possesses. This frog. Seems like a silly thing at first, right? Well, if we ask our good Goomba friend, who inspired this video in the first place, about the Japanese origins of this, everything is clear. Have you ever heard of the money frog? It's a Japanese frog said to bring good fortune and riches, but why? It has to do with a very common Japanese pun. You may have heard the train of logic that if you put a lot of money or love into something, you will see it return to you even greater, especially when it comes to investing in your home. Well, in Japanese, the word for return home, kieru, and the word for frog, kieru, both sound very similar, making for a very common Japanese pun that turned into a major cultural phenomenon of frogs being turned into purses and frog money being another way of saying investments. But what does money have to do with this? Well, it's not the money part, but the return part. The pun on return and frog. Mario uses this frog to return from the dead, return from the underworld. He's back to save Peach from Bowser and hopefully get his life back. Whew! Now that sure was something, wasn't it? But I'm still not done. So scoop up your mind for the over 9,000th time and take a look at the most convincing piece of evidence of all. Remember the old joke regarding the logo to Super Mario Galaxy? If you look at just the letters with these sparkles, we can get a hidden message. You are Mr. Gay. At first, we all thought it was merely a funny coincidence, but not anymore, because if we look to the logo of Mario Odyssey, we get yet another message with sparkles. Mario dies. Completely confirming my theory. It's like a personal gift from Nintendo to me. I get them all the time. But hey, even though I expect you to take this all as fact, just know that I'll use my scapegoat tactic that protects me from any and all criticism and say that this is only a theory. A noggin theory. Thanks for watching. And hey, before you go, make sure to leave a like and check out these other Mario videos. And be sure to check out our merch store. I'm done with the parody now. Ugh. Disclaimer. Don't take this parody as hate for game theory. I only parody people that I like. So be sure to use your noggin down in the comments.